This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball to deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Adolis Garcia sends one the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall. Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
It is going to be a great day at the ballpark here at the Coliseum. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's firework night. And it's going to be a nice crowd. Cannot wait. We're going to have a terrific show for you. Scott Emerson, the pitching coach. Don't tell anybody. We have the Dr. Emo coat. It is here. We're also going to have Armando Alvarez. I've been looking forward to having that interview. What a story he has been. And also, I think we're going to have Dallas Braden. Dallas Braden is, I believe, going to be here. And that's going to be at 5 o'clock. So Scott Emerson at 4 o'clock. We're going to have Armando Alvarez at 4:30. And we're going to have Dallas Braden coming up here at 5 o'clock. Going to be a great show. But after last night, feels pretty good, right, A's fans? Watching the win last night for the Athletics as they took care of the Angels 7-5. Looking for just back-to-back wins for the second time since May 5th. The last time we saw it was June 18th through the 19th. But the things that we saw in the game were things that you're seeing the progress, right? Seeing Lawrence Butler hit the 3-run shot, seeing him get another base hit the other way, seeing him go the other way, seeing the A's do some things that's progressing and that we need to see in the second half of the season. Also, when you start to look at starting pitching, and that's one thing we're going to get into with Scott Emerson today, is looking at the starting pitching and what does he see, because there's going to be a battle here. There's going to be a battle of the young guys that are trying to establish themselves, and what do you do with the veteran guys that are going to come back? Now, obviously, because of contracts, because of money, the veteran guys are going to need to be worked back in. But what you need to do as a young guy is make it to where you force them to have to keep pitching you. So it actually is a pretty good dynamic. It was great to have the general manager of the Athletics yesterday, David Force, on the program to talk about kind of a state of the union before the All-Star break, before the draft, to talk about a lot of the players and what he is seeing. And what we are now seeing is, and we've talked a lot about it, whether it's been on this show or it's been on the Clubhouse show, it's about building now, trying to win now, build now, and win for the future. It's all about positivity for the future. That every single time you look at an at-bat, every single time you look at an innings pitch, you have to look at it as this is precious. Who's getting it? Who's getting those opportunities and why? What do you got going, Commander?
I'm trying to get us on Twitter.
He's trying to get us on Twitter. All right, so we're trying to get on Twitter. I guess right now we're only on YouTube. Right now the A's have not started taking batting practice yet. One of the things that we have started to see really since 2 road trips ago is going back to doing little things. So many times, big league teams, and we can tell you because we get to see batting practice all the time for all these different teams. That's one of the great things about having the show here. It's what a team's working on. And so many times you see teams will basically just get into batting practice. And guys are going to take fungos. They're going to take the ground balls. Guys will run the bases a little bit. Guys are shagging in the outfield. But what we've seen the A's, the last 2 times they've come back from the road, we have seen a real practice of getting back into the fundamentals. Right now, what we have going out on the field right now is we've got a little PFP going here, pitcher's fielding practice, and also working on pickoffs, working on bunts, working on throws to second, shoring up the defense, concentrating on defense again, led by Eric Martins, who is, of course, the infield coach. Bobby Crosby out there. Emerson usually going to join us right now, but he's working with the pitchers. So they're working on the fundamentals, and you like to see that because for a team like the A's, who we've talked so much about losing close games, when you're losing a lot of close games, can you do better in those close games if you're able to shore up your line of defense? We talk so much about offense. We talk so much about scoring. The reality, winning baseball games, the key to winning baseball games is run prevention. And pitching for a team like the Athletics, it's going to be up, it's going to be down. We're going to see that. You're going to see a lot of movement. Unfortunately, we're seeing that all in baseball. But if the thing that you can shore up and play better defense, boy, that can really start to change for you. And I like to see this. It kind of reminds me of what always impressed me about the Rays when the Rays would come to town. The Rays are a team, and I remember we'd highlight for you, but they would only come to town once, so we could only show you what the Rays do before every single game is they take infield. And they work on infield before every single game. They take the batting cage, they push it back. They don't get right into batting practice. They work on fundamentals, and it's one of the reasons why the Tampa Bay Rays have been one of the most fundamentally sound teams, and we see them year in and year out get into the playoffs and win a lot of games based on not screwing up.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you look at just the statistics of the Rays. They're not going to lead you in home runs. They're not going to lead in runs scored. But what they're going to lead is an efficiency, and they don't beat themselves. They don't give away outs. And hopefully we're going to start seeing more of that from the A's as we continue to watch them do a lot of infield work, a lot of work with their pitchers, and you shore up the defense, you get a lot better. Remember, 89 double plays so far this year, only second to the Colorado Rockies. So got off to a horrific start defensively, but the A's have gotten better defensively and a much more concentration as you have an influx of new players. But what a thing that I like that we talked with Scott Emerson about, not Scott Emerson, we talked to David Force about yesterday, the general manager, is the fact that we're now seeing a group of A's players, the continuity of playing together. These guys are now, we're talking about the guys who have played together in the minor leagues, but now when you start to think about, okay, Rooker has been here, Andujar has been here, you start looking at Blade, guys have started playing more together, getting to know each other. You play better defense that way when I know, like if Cody and I are the shortstop and the second baseman, I know if I'm Geloff and you're Schumann, we start to really know each other and learn each other. And we know our mannerisms and our characteristics and how each other think and how each other feel. That just makes everybody better on defense.
Yeah, I feel like I need to drop a couple more pounds, and I think I can go out there and play short a little bit.
All right, you can drop a few more.
You want to put me at the hot corner? I can play third.
I think you're at third right now.
I was a first baseman because you saw my candy arm the other day at your house.
Oh, my, I forgot to bring that up. So I live across the street from Little League, right? And right now they're having the camps, the summer camps. So every so often when I get home, you'll find a baseball in my front yard because I literally live right across the street from these fields. Isn't that amazing? Baseball guy buys a house outside of Little League fields, and I have two girls who have no interest in playing baseball whatsoever. But you'll have the baseballs that are in my front yard. So I told Commander Cody to throw the ball from my front yard over the fence, which I got my laser out, my golf laser, to see it was about like 150. No, it wasn't. It was about 120 feet. What was it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was not a very far distance. He couldn't even get it over the fence.
I got it to the top of the fence. It hit the top of the fence. It bounced back, and I'm like, yeah, it's been a long time. But
it's one of the greatest baseball nerds. He can sit here and tell you everything about the draft, but he can't throw a ball 30 yards.
That's why I played first base. So I can't throw.
And that's where all the people say, you guys talk a lot and say you know a lot, but you can't do it.
Well, I mean, yes, no excuses. I mean, it's been a long time since I've thrown a baseball, but I should have been able to throw it on the field. It was pretty embarrassing. I'll own it. I know it. It's okay. Now I got to get in the cage, see if I can hit the ball still. That's the test.
All right, a couple notes before we're going to have Scott Emerson rolling by. Very interesting. I did not know this. I've talked about it in the post-game show, something I want to see because I'm tired of all the strikeouts. And you know how you don't strike out a lot?
Put the ball in play.
Don't get to 2 strikes.
Fair.
You get something early in the count, do some damage, right? And we've seen X amount of players do some damage. Tyler Soderstrom who we just had on the program, he's hitting 500 when he puts the first or second pitch in play.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, oh, that's a very interesting nugget in the notes. That's impressive, especially for a young player.
Does it matter anymore? You know, we went through this probably in the late 90s, the steroid era, as players got bigger, players were doing incredible damage, pitchers were afraid to throw the ball. They were essentially afraid to throw the ball in the strike zone. We started seeing a tremendous amount of walks. You can go check it for yourself, folks. In 1999, we had teams walking at a crazy amount. It's not even close in today's world. It was record amounts of walks. So that's why we always kind of make fun of the Moneyball book and the movie when it's like, oh, Billy Beane figured out in 2002 that the team needs to walk. If you do your due diligence, the A's led all of baseball in walks in 1999. So well before the book was written, the A's knew about walking. But pitchers were afraid to throw strikes because you had these monsters at home plate were hitting it out. But here's the deal. When you look at all of that, back then, you wanted to get to the bullpen, right? It was see as many pitches as you can, walk, let's get to the bullpen. Well, where we are in baseball, all these over 20 years later, we don't want starters to go. I want starters to go deep, but they don't want starters to go deep anymore. So now it really doesn't matter what your pitch count is, even though pitching coaches and managers will tell you that stuff still matters. They're lying to you because their actions tell us. They don't want pitchers going through the order a third time. So whether you have 68 pitches or 88 pitches now is irrelevant. It's how many times the hitters have seen you.
Yeah.
So if I now swing at a first or second pitch, something that I like, we used to go, oh my God, you're letting the pitcher off the hook. Well, now it doesn't matter because pitch counts in a lot of ways have become irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to step aside because the good doctor's on his way over.
Oh, we got PitchCom. I forgot. I had a caller last night from Hawaii talk about, can we explain PitchCom? Yes. The good doctor. You know, the A's Clubhouse show has grown. We have so many people from so many different areas calling us, and we have such great callers. One of our great callers, George in San Francisco, came up with the nickname Dr. Emo because Scott Emerson supposedly fixes all the pitchers. And his favorite pitcher, because George from San Francisco from Japan, is Shintaro Fujinami. And they talk a lot about you, by the way, in Japan as a guy who fixed Shintaro Fujinami. And they want people in Japan want Fuji to come back so you could fix him again. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I didn't realize you were big in Japan. So one of our listeners said, Dr. Emo, we've got to get the coat for him. Double XL with Dr. Emo on it. This is how big you're getting on the postgame show and on this show. We have fans making you a lab coat, a doctor's coat.
Yeah, I love it.
For your collection.
Double XL, that's the problem there. I got to get this thing down to XL. But I appreciate it.
You got to hang that in the locker.
I got to hang it in the locker. This will go in the locker for sure.
That's what the fan base, what does it mean? Because I don't know how many fan bases, I'll help you with that. I don't know how many fan bases talk a lot about their pitching coach the way our fan base does about you. What does that mean to you?
Well, you know, I mean, I got a great support team around me. The guys in the organization won the pitchers themselves, you know, the hard work that they put in. And then, you know, obviously our front office who goes out and acquires what we can acquire to get guys to be the best that they can possibly be. And then our data team led by, you know, Pike Goldschmidt that really helps us out. And our biomechanist, Ethan Stewart, that really gives us the information. And you know, I guess if I'm the doctor, they're part of the surgical team as well because, you know, with the anesthesiologist, you can't perform the surgery without him.
That's fact.
And then you got the supporting cast around it. So, you know, I got a great group of people that I trust, and I always tease them once in a while. When they give me information, it takes me a while to process it, but they're very important to me. And, we're just trying to get the pitchers, one day better. Dan Hubbs, our bullpen coach as well, works his tail off. And Marcus Jensen, our catching coach, who's been our bullpen coach, who understands pitching as well. So we're really just trying to get guys to be, better each and every season or each and every outing the best we can.
You talk about biomechanics, the study of the human body and the study of how the human body all performs in different sequences and how we use the ground for leverage. And we start talking about a lot of these things, but then every human being's different. You're going to, as two former pitchers, you as a big left-handed pitcher, me as a short right-handed pitcher, our bodies, our individual biomechanics are going to be different. How much have you enjoyed studying the human body, essentially, studying all your different pitchers, and all 13, you have 13 guys at one time, and all 13 are different?
I think, I've been here 10 years at the big league level, and I'm learning way more now than I've ever learned before about a lot of things about pitching. But, I had great mentors, Marty Demerit, Gil Patterson, Ron Romanek, Kurt Young, Rick Rodriguez, Craig Lefferts, just to name a few guys that have been in our organization that I've always looked up to. The master, Keith Lippman, who was the farm director here a long time, and just trying to always put myself in a position to learn things. I learned early on as a pitching coach that two guys that are 6'5" are not the same.
Yeah.
One guy's got a 34-inch inseam, another guy's got a 36 inseam. One guy's foot is 12, one guy's foot's 10. One guy's neck's taller than the other. One guy's arms are longer than the other. So, to have two guys that are 6'5" and say your stride length's supposed to be the exact same isn't correct. I always say with stride length, your stride is as long or as short as it takes for the backside to get through and over the front side with proper finish. We got to find that proper finish first, and then that's what your stride length is. So it doesn't really matter how tall you are. You want to get out to a level that you have proper finish, and then when we have proper finish, then we decide that that's your stride length.
And certain pitchers, or I should say certain pitches, work better for certain body types, how your back, your scapulas, how your body, how your flexibility. Certain pitchers are better for certain guys based on how their body moves.
Yeah, you got pronators and you got supinators. Pronators are going to stay inside the ball, maybe better sinker, change-up guys. Supinators, maybe better curveball guys. But the data really I haven't seen any studies that really support that too well, because maybe a guy who has too much supination you think would have too much break. You want it to have a shorter break and maybe some less vert, the ball moving down. Maybe you want a shorter supination. So there's a whole combination of things that go on into the pitching, and that's why the data team is so important to me. That they throw out a lot of information, and I retain it when I can retain it, and we all try to put it together and make it useful for everybody.
Now, obviously, whoever they give you is who they give you, and you work with them. I just said before you came on, I want to see the younger guys like a Joey Estes who's going tonight, like Spence who went yesterday, like Medina who I thought pitched really well in Arizona. I want to see them put the pressure on the front office, because I saw Blackburn out here today. I saw Ross Stripling out here today. Alex Wood's going to be coming. I want to see the young guys force the front office to make some tough decisions, because I want to see the young guys pitch.
Well, that's what you're always doing. Whoever's on the team, our 13 today, are the guys that I keep telling, hey, you got to pitch to your capabilities and then some. And then I tell the guys who are on the shelves right now, hey, you got to get ready as soon as you can so you can push these young, so you're always trying to play that game. And even the guys in AAA, hey, I need you to put pressure on these guys. And a healthy competition is always good, but you always want to have good ingredients so you can make good food, right?
No doubt. A bouillabaisse, the soup where you got a lot of different things I always talk about. Medina finally kind of showed us something. I liked a couple of the strikeouts where he was kind of, I want to see a little bravado. I throw 100 miles an hour. You got wicked stuff. I want to see some bravado. I want to see some dog in him. Yeah, I think we saw a little bit of that on Sunday.
That predator, not the prey. Like,
correct.
This is my mound. This isn't your mound. And even, I don't know if you guys saw, but he came in at the inning and gave up a run, and He gave a very impressive glove fire off the dugout wall that was really good. Got out in front, good extension. And so
StatCast on that?
Yeah, it was great numbers.
Okay, good.
So, I went over to him and I said, all right. Okay, now calm down. Right now, it's okay to get, pissy a little bit and angry and upset, but now let's lock it back in. You've been pitching so good. You've only given up one run. Let's look at the positive of that last inning is you could have been in trouble. You got out of trouble with one run. Now let's go out there. It's a whole new inning and lock it back in and be that predator. And I think he, like you said, I think it was one of his better games in the big leagues.
Yeah, Mitch Spence. The only thing with Mitch Spence, I wonder at times, because he's so much, everything is cutter, slider, everything's spinning. Could he use the fastball? Because now that everybody starts to see you, right? The scouting reports go around. Everybody's seeing your video. They know what you're going to throw consistently. Could you mix in a little more two-seamer sink, which is coming more into righties?
Let's get back to those ingredients that we talked about earlier, right? That is part of the ingredients. And sometimes when you taste the food and you really don't like it, you got to reinvent it.
Or more salt.
You really got to
garlic.
You got to do something different. So that's what he's working on. And like you said, if he can get something in running into his arm side, it's going to help open up the pitches to his glove side. He knows that. We know that. The league knows that. We know that the league knows that.
Yes.
And like you said, they're seeing the scouting report. They're going to see balls out there. And that's, when you're facing the team 2 times in a row, and the last time down in Anaheim, we felt like those left-handers were cheating on balls coming into the barrel. We had to do something about it. And last night, some of it was elevate the cutter a little bit more, because if you get the cutter up, that's even harder to hit. I think, sometimes that cutter stays down there, and when that cutter gets up to the hands on a left-handed hitter, it's always going to be gold if he gets it up and in. So those are the things that, young pitchers are working on, and big picture thinking, that's part of the plan.
You tell me, but I want to see 2 straight starts against the same team. They're going to adjust, you're going to adjust. Who's going to win that battle? That's what we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, that's the battle of execution. Is you got to go out there and keep executing the pitch. They know what your pitch metrics are. The data's all out there now, right? We got big data out there. Can you execute the pitches? Some of the pitches that he made mistakes on last game, he got outs on, and some of the good pitches that he made, they might have got a hit on it. So now it's like, can you out execute them with the right pitch at the right time, be unpredictable? And if he does that tonight, he's going to be really good.
I think in baseball, we have forgotten what it's like for most pitchers to pitch 30-plus times in a year, because if you're not one of the all-time greats, but you have a long career and you pitch 30-plus times, you're going to have really good starts, you're going to have bad starts, you're going to have mediocre starts. And I think kind of what JP Sears, we have forgotten what it's like to see a guy take the ball every 5 days, because there's going to be times where JP Sears looks great. There's going to be times where he doesn't. That's normal.
Yeah, I think if you look at what JP's done for us over the years, he came to us for the Yankees. We kind of kept him around 80 pitch mark, maybe 90 pitches here and there to end the 2022 season. And then last year he makes every single start. And, this year he's going to do it again. And sometimes the grind of it all is wear and tear, and so now we're getting to the mound, and we got to understand how can we get him on the mound to be productive and practice execution, but also get him to the game mound to be fresh. That's the thing that we really need to be looking at is, how can we get JP Sears to the game mound as fresh as possible?
That's always the toughest thing about pitching versus hitting. I can go into the cage. We can work on a million different things day after day after day. You just can't throw like that every day. You just can't do it.
Right. That's why, the mental grind is like get in there and do your reps under control, do your reps, closer to game speed, and do quality repetition. And the quality is what we really need when we're throwing our bullpens.
All right. You brought the pitch come over. We had a caller last night ask, could he talk about, because it's very simple. It's very simplistic, but we, the audience, we've never touched it. We've never felt it. We don't see it. We don't understand it. So how does it work?
Okay, what we have here is a receiver. The players wear this in their hat.
And it's not PitchCom anymore. What is it called?
I don't know. Did they change the name?
Oh, it's still called PitchCom?
I think so. So the players wear this in their hat, and they're going to get a verbal cue. The catcher has these buttons that have different modes. So this isn't easy. It's got Velcro on it. The pitchers can also Velcro it to their glove. Some Velcro it to their belts, and they press the button. And when they just press these simple buttons, it gives a command. So you press fastball, away. Fastball, up. Then you got a different mode, bunt play, 1. And obviously our guys know what bunt play 1 means.
And one infielder has it too, right?
No, we got 3 infielders that have it.
So when you say bunt play 1, who's getting it?
I think we go short, second, and third.
All right, so they know bunt play 1. All right. So years ago, catcher would come out, right?
And we also, the catcher has the plays over there. We also have, pick off first, which our running game is controlled by Marcus Jensen, our quality control and our catching coach, who does an amazing job at it. So he's relaying signs to the catcher, pick the first, pitch out, inside move, slide step. So the pitchers have this in their hat, and they're just simply hearing it in their ear. And then obviously if they shake the pitch, the catcher's got to go back and repress the button.
So the catcher's got to be really good at this, because we now have a pitch clock. You got to do it in a certain time.
You got to be really good. And you got to know the numbers. You got to know the mode. You got to know where the things are. We tried to correlate it that, one side of the plate is away and the other side of the plate is in, up and down. We got chase. So it's a very tough system for the catchers to learn, but Marcus gets these guys in spring training together, all the catchers, and now it's in AAA. And I think in AAA, just the pitcher and the catcher can wear the pitch com.
Now, I want to say Saturday. Was that Gallon Friday or Saturday? I think Gallon was Saturday. Gallon had his on his glove. So do all pitchers have the receiver, obviously, but do all pitchers have?
No. The only pitcher on our staff that is wearing and calling his own pitches at time is Stripling. So the rest of the pitchers are going off the suggestions of the catcher, but they're shaking their head.
And we can still go back to the old school.
Yeah, you could do whatever. Yeah.
How do you like it?
I love it. I just think it's a lot easier, with guys on second base relaying signs. You know what happened when one team's making an algorithm.
The Astros.
Yeah, well, and they're doing things. So, I mean, look, there's still ways to relay signs at second base, early setup from catchers. If the catchers move to one position, there could be a relay. If our pitchers are showing the ball to second base, and that's one thing we really stress too, don't give the offensive team an advantage. If you're holding your glove up here and they can see your pitch mix, the runner at second base is either going to hop for breaking ball, or he might lean back for fastball. So, we're constantly monitoring that on the bench, but we're also making sure that our pitchers aren't doing this in games.
All right, we have certain pitchers who weren't born in the United States and don't speak English.
There's a Spanish version.
There's a Spanish? What did we do for Shintaro Fujinami?
He learned English.
So there's not one in Japanese.
I don't believe so. Fuji was much better in English than maybe he portrayed he was.
He sandbagged us he pulled an Ichiro.
I think he's I had good conversations with him in English.
Full conversation.
Pretty good conversation.
You Fuji, you.
Maybe that's why he learned so well. I don't know.
Wow. Well, Bob Melvin, our old skipper, would tell you Ichiro can almost speak fluent like Ichiro has no problem in it.
Maybe I just have bad English and Fuji understood it, which is very possible.
All those years Ichiro played I'm not going to talk to the media, I don't speak English. He totally knows English. Use it to your advantage.
That's right.
So you have it in Spanish. So if it's in Spanish, so let's say I press, are the infielders?
No. I mean, they're
the pitcher can just get Spanish while the infielders get English.
I believe so, yes.
Interesting.
But all our guys use the English version. They understand, all our Latin guys, they're smart guys. They understand fastball away, fastball up, fastball down. If not, we teach them.
Yeah, well, they've been in the States long enough going through the system.
Yeah.
As we're heading to the second half here, and this will be the last time we talk to you before the All-Star break, what are you looking forward to the second half with your staff?
I just growth, the process, the grind that we're going through, and the understanding and the teaching of pitching. At some point in time, you can only teach so much. They got to remember it, and they got to put it together themselves on the field. That's what I'm waiting to see. Is okay. I think with a couple pitchers, we got to where their arsenal is their arsenal now. We're not messing around and changing different pitches. And one, you look at Hogan Harris, who had the cutter last year. Now he's got a slider. And same with Joey Estes, had the cutter last year, and now he's got the slider. He experimented a little bit with the two-seamer early in spring training. Here's your 4-pitch mix. Let's learn how to execute these 4-pitch pitches, and let's learn how to pitch and understand how to use these pitches. And that's in between innings all the time during games too. Is like, what were we thinking there? And it's good conversations, but at some point in time, they got to go out and apply it.
By the way, I used one of your isms this weekend on television. I don't know why. I just like it. Shooty Babbitt said something to me, and I said, you know what our pitching coach always says? You're either winning or you're learning.
Yeah.
You're either winning or you're learning. And I love that, because you got to, as much as we learn from our successes, we can learn just as much or more from our failures.
Yeah, I think, that sometimes there's a lot of times where pitchers come up to the big leagues, and even players come up to the big leagues, and they're not really seeking that advice until they start to fail. And sometimes they got to hit a little bit of failure before they listen. And it's not anything against them. I mean, you go through the whole minor leagues and you dominate, and then you get up here and you're wondering why. I've had pitchers this year. I can't believe he's hitting that pitch. I can't believe he's hitting that pitch. And I'm like, well, you keep throwing it in the same spot, and these are major league hitters, and you're not getting them off that pitch with something else. So, that's the learning part. But when they recognize it and they come to me, I think that's even better.
And there's been a lot of talk, and we can end on this, with the draft coming up, and we've talked a lot about the batting average being low in Major League Baseball and what the young hitters look like. The hitting approach in all the years you've been at the big leagues, how different do you see the hitters? Because all you're trying to do is get them out. How different to you has their approach changed in 10 years?
Well, obviously there's more guys who want to hit it over the fence, and I, the guys that are willing to, hit the ball where it's pitched, I think become really good hitters, because then eventually we go right back to pitches maybe they can hit and drive. So, I think that it's a hard contact is something that's important, but I also believe when somebody gives you the whole right side, if you can just put it on the ground over there, you're useful for your team as well. So I think, if you get a lot of guys swinging for the fences and a couple guys connect, those are homers, and the homers, realistically, homers lead the runs. So you got to pitch to avoid damage.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got to see it here. It's going up in the locker. Dr. Emo.
Yeah, I love the pockets down here.
I mean, seriously, think of everything. You can have your pitch comm in here.
Yeah,
you can have remotes for like your Rapsodo and everything in here for your high-tech cameras.
This is awesome.
Edutronic or whatever it's called.
This is awesome. You got to wear it when it's kind of like open up, right? A little bit.
Yeah, you got to wear it.
Yeah.
You wear it around here, let everybody know you mean business.
Yeah. I guess I'm a doctor now.
The great Dr.
Paging Dr. Emo.
He is the best, and you get him right here on A's Cast Live.
I appreciate
Where
it.
does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit Xfinity.com/network management.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs, Oakland Athletics, win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-FOR-ME or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
A's Cast Live continues from Rickey Henderson Field. Here's Chris Townsend.
All right. I know I've said on this show, this guy that you're seeing up there, if you're just listening on A's Cast, I apologize. You'll see it later. But this is the Jose Canseco bobblehead giveaway, Saturday, July 20th against the Halos. So the first series after the All-Star break, that Saturday. Is that awesome or what? We have to get that on the desk. Have to.
And put it next to the other Jose, or did we replace the old Jose with the new one?
No. Hey, you can't get enough Jose. The Jose we have on the desk is the Rookie of the Year Jose bobblehead. I'm just going to tell you, I love Jose Canseco. He was one of my favorite guys when I was in high school. He was a lot of your favorite. For a lot of you, he was your favorite player. Jose Canseco was absolutely incredible. And when I think about Jose, the fact that he's going to be an A's Hall of Famer, he should be, right? I know he's crazy. Trust me, I had to do the event at the Concord Theaters with him. Remember the documentary? This was years ago. I was on 95.7 The Game. They contacted me and they said, we want you to come. I can't even remember what the theaters were called. And they wanted me to host because all these fans were able to come in. And it was a Q&A with the director, the producer, some investors. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. And I got to hang out with Jose Canseco for a while. Yeah, he's a weird dude. He is. But he's Jose Canseco. He was bigger than life. He was a true sports star. Leaving Madonna's apartment.
I was waiting for that to come up.
I mean, come on. He was Jose Canseco. Do you remember the All-Star game in Chicago at Wrigley Field when there was one person hanging out of the building? Jose hit it here with the sign. This is the National League. This is Wrigley Field. Can't remember if what year it was. What year was it? Strawberry in the game, picks up the ball from the ivy and throws it all the way to home plate. Was that like 91 or something like that? 90, 91?
It sounds like it was an early 90s game here. I'll try.
Julio Franco had a big game. I mean, Jose Canseco was a star. And if you remember, that team was full of stars. And you can't say enough about the 89 team, or really the era of 88, 89, 90. We celebrate, obviously, what the team of the 70s did because they won 3 straight World Series and they were incredible. But this is now my generation of baseball. When I'm growing up, very impressionable as a high school baseball player.
90.
It was 90. That was my senior year of high school. Jose Canseco was the man. And we need to honor him because he was greatness. And Dietra has told us that no matter what, the fans of like my era and even a little bit younger, Jose's still the most popular player. Like
it makes sense.
We can talk about Dennis Eckersley being a Hall of Famer. We can talk about the greatness of Dave Stewart. We can talk about the greatness of Mark McGwire. Obviously, Rickey Henderson is one of the greatest, not only A's, but greatest players of all time. But the most popular player is still, when people dig down deep and they say, who was your guy? It was Jose Canseco.
Yeah, and it's great that he's going to the Hall of Fame. I remember him, I saw the tail end of his career.
You saw like what? New York Yankee?
Devil Ray. Jose
Devil
Canseco.
Ray?
Jose's a Devil Ray.
Wait, was Yankee Canseco after the Devil Rays?
I thought that was before.
Let me look. They've actually shown a couple of those home runs. He was so roided out. He was so big then. When he was with the Yankees, they've shown a couple of that because he won the World Series with them.
I just remember him being one of the on the early Devil Rays teams because they're 98 or 99 was their first year when them and the
then Yankee Jose has to be way after that. After he went Tampa to New York and ended with
I just saw The White Sox.
Southsider Jose.
We're going to have to wait till after we're done with Armando Alvarez. We're going to have to go through the 2021 White Sox and where they are now.
Yeah, I
work out?
emailed it to him yesterday. So last night I'm like in the press box because Tim Anderson got DFA'd. Somebody put out on X this thing of where everybody is from the 2021 White Sox. And it kind of hits home because you think right here on this field, we had talked about the A's, even though it was COVID and we all had cardboard cutouts, but it was such a big deal that the A's took on the White Sox, beat the White Sox, headed down to Dodger Stadium for kind of an epic series against the Astros. It was still COVID.
A lot of home runs.
But it was, the A's hadn't won a playoff series since 2006. So they took down the White Sox. But during that series, if you remember, everybody's like, this is the team to watch out for. And for years, everybody's like, look out for the White Sox. So, oh, no, here comes Tony La Russa. Look out for the White Sox. And to look to see, here we are in 2024, because 2021 was not that long ago.
Well, look, remember.
And they won a bunch of games in 2021. Was it 102 or?
I don't know if they were a good team. I don't think they won 100, but they were close. Remember, Jose, not even talking about Tim Anderson, but Jose Abreu was the MVP in 2020. He was cut by the Astros. No one's picked him up since. So him and Tim Anderson, the two best players on that team of that year, because Tim Anderson finished in the top 5 of MVP voting. I want to say it was that year. If not, it was the next year. They're both gone. Like Anderson's now a free agent.
They don't have jobs.
And Jose Abreu doesn't have a job either. He's been gone for almost a month since the Astros cut him.
The 2021 Chicago White Sox, after they lost to the A's in 2020, they went 93-69. Think about that. First in the AL Central, they would lose in the postseason to the Houston Astros. But, man, you've got Jose Abreu's got 30 bombs. Tim Anderson is hitting 300 with 17 home runs. You've got kind of a stacked team.
Liam Hendricks was their closer.
Luis Robert, your favorite. Back then you were calling him the French Cuban.
Robert.
Yohan Moncada, everybody thought he was going to be such a terrific player.
There's who else was on that team too? Eloy Jimenez was there. Was he healthy?
He was young. He was 24 years
played
old.
55 games. The guy, I mean, it's unfortunate he can't stay
Dylan
healthy.
Cease, Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, Carlos Rodon. I mean, it's a good team.
Yeah. Towny was their manager, and who they ended up losing to in the playoffs was the Astros? Houston, yeah.
All right, so, yeah, we can go over that. And since in honor of you and Michael and your Yankee honkness, we will start a Yankeeography today. I saw this. There's something to be said what's going on with Aaron Judge that I want to bring up. And we just joke about the Yankee thing, but I do have to bring up from a baseball standpoint, we hate the Yankees. I get it, but we got to bring it up about Aaron Judge. It is something it's pretty spectacular. You may be watching the greatest year for a center fielder in the history of baseball. And you just think we just lost Willie Mays. You're thinking about one of the greatest years, if not the greatest years ever for a center fielder, Mickey Mantle had when he won the Triple Crown. Ken Griffey Jr. had back-to-back years where he hit 50-plus home runs. I mean, you have some center fielders that have had some incredible years. And Aaron Judge he may be right now having the greatest year ever of a center fielder. But I got more important things to talk about because he doesn't know this. But on this show, on the A's Clubhouse show, that's our call and postgame show. And then I said it over the weekend doing TV for NBC on pre and post. We highlighted you because right now you're one hell of a story. I'm Chris Townsend. I'm
Armando
the A's
Alvarez.
guy. Nice to meet you. We've been talking a lot about you. Congratulations on everything that you have earned.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been an honor to represent Oakland Athletics.
The thing that I highlighted the most was nothing you did on the field. It was the first time after the game you talked to Martin Gallegos. He asked you a question. Your first answer, you used the word grateful twice. Not many guys will ever say grateful twice in one season. tells me a lot about how you're raised. It tells me a lot about what's in your heart, and it tells me a lot about what this opportunity means when you use the word grateful twice. First time you're talking to the media, tell us just what you mean by being so grateful to be here after 700 games in the minor leagues.
Just, yeah, you said it, 700 games. Never had a bad attitude towards any of those games. I always thought each one, anything could happen. Anything was possible. When I finally was told that I was going to the majors, it was just like a sigh of relief. Like I said, the only thing that comes to mind is I'm just so grateful for never stopping. Just the support of my parents, the support of my family. There's so many things to be thankful for. And this has just been a blessing. And I just want to soak it all in and help the team as much as possible.
What were the emotions like when you got the call? And what were the emotions like when you called your parents?
Yeah, I was getting ready to hit for my 4th at-bat in Tacoma. And Fran stops me, and he says, "Hey, you're not taking this at bat." And I asked him why, and he said, "They need you in the majors." And I was just taken aback. I couldn't believe it at first, but the internal belief in myself, I felt like I deserved that. And it was just a whirlwind of emotions. So I tried to call my parents. It's 1:00 in the morning in Miami at that time. So first couple calls, no one's answering. Finally text the group, "Hey, I need somebody to answer the phone." Finally, mom wakes up. "What's going on?" Let her know, "Hey." First thing I said was, "I did it." And she says, "Did what?" And I'm like, "I'm going to the show." And she just broke down. "Wake up, Dad. Wake up, Dad." He didn't believe it. He thought he was dreaming. I mean, they were pretty emotional. I was a little teary-eyed, but like I said, I always had this internal belief that this is what I deserve. And I wasn't going to stop.
Was there ever a time, though, when you start thinking about 27 years old, 28 years old, you played well for the Giants last year in their AAA, you didn't get a call. Was there ever a doubt that, you know what, this is not going to happen?
That sliver of doubt is always, in your mind, especially after last year. I thought I was performing at a very high level, offensively, defensively, whatever the team needed. And yeah, towards the last couple of weeks, I was like, kind of hit me, these teams not going to call me up. So that was just a whole emotional roller coaster to just get through that season.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Grateful to finish strong, healthy. And I became a free agent, and A's called me the first day, and just seemed like a no-brainer for me.
Did you sign knowing that, as we say all the time, this is the land of opportunity? So we were talking about you yesterday with the general manager, David Force, on this show. In Oakland, they don't care where you were drafted.
Nope.
They don't. There's no politics. That's like, if they think you can help. Did you know that when you signed, like, this is out of the 30 teams, this really is the one shot that if I play well, I can get to the big leagues?
Yeah, I had 2 other teams in mind that I felt that way, but with Oakland, I played against them so much last year in Las Vegas. I saw what they had. I felt like I could immediately impact that team from day one of spring training. It's not how it worked out. I got sent to Las Vegas, and I just knew that I had this internal belief that, okay, give me a month in Las Vegas, I'll be where I need to be. And just grateful, like I said, that word again, grateful that it played out the way I had envisioned it in my head.
Dude, it's that's why you're here, right? You put it into the universe, right? You never stopped.
I've been saying this since I was 4 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
I've told everyone.
So 700 games in the minor leagues, you get here, and then right out of the gate, you're balling. Right out of the gate, it's hits. You're running around. You're playing defense. I mean, what was it just like finally playing the game at the big league level and being successful doing it?
It really helped being with this team for so long in spring training. I was with a bunch of the guys that made me feel really a part of the team. So getting here, you're not trying to – you get to a new team and you think, I got to impress everybody. I got to impress this guy. But they've already seen you. So what you've done, that body of work that I've been able to accumulate over the years, I just trust that that's what they're looking for at the big league level, and that type of play is going to be able to help them win ball games.
Now, this just isn't a call-up because we talked to the general manager yesterday, and it's like with Max Schumann too, because he's a 20th round pick, right? It's like, what does he need to do? Can he stay here? It's, of course, it's The great thing is it's now all on you. If you perform, you will be here. It's not going to be about the politics or you're just here for a quick thing. And I mean, it's now up to you. How does that make you feel?
It's great. I've always felt like I controlled my own destiny, even 3 years ago when I was playing once, twice a week in the Yankees organization as a 27-year-old. I always felt like I was still controlling my own destiny no matter what. If I had another at-bat, I felt like I could take care of whatever it was to help that team win. And it's just been a blessing.
What was the first wow moment? Yeah, you get the call, but you get up here, wherever you were, Anaheim, Arizona. What was the first wow moment? I've made it. I'm in the big leagues.
Playing Arizona. Angel Stadium was amazing. That definitely was one of those moments. But right before that game against Arizona, National League Championship team last year, just the music, it felt like you were in a day club in that stadium. It's so loud and it's bumping and there's flashing lights, and that really, like, wow, I'm doing this. It really set in then at that stadium.
So your parents came out for the debut, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on TV. How was that? How was having the family and the whole?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were grateful. They made it to the first day. The second day I was here in Oakland, so that Sunday game, their flight got delayed for Saturday. Some of my cousins made it out. Then they came with me to Anaheim when they heard I was starting the second game. And the third game, they decided to stay for the last 2 days. And they got to see me get my first hit, gave the ball to my dad, which is where it belongs. And that was just a special moment to be able to give that ball to my dad.
Staying here is going to be about not only what you've been doing, making contact, good hard contact, it's versatility.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us all the different positions you can play and where do you feel the strongest?
Anywhere in the infield, short, second, third, first, very comfy. Comfiest probably third and second. Short, I feel good at it, just need to keep getting those reps. Also could play a little bit of left field if needed. I played a couple games there in Las Vegas. So I try to say that I can man five spots around the field above average, at least I think, especially in the infield. I like to believe that my glove is as good as it could get.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing is staying in the big leagues, right? It is the versatility and the fact that you can go. You're a good enough athlete. You can go into the outfield. Another thing that we have seen so far, especially I can't remember which game it was, seeing you take first to third so easy. Base running is a definitely big skill for you.
Yeah, just 7 years in the minor leagues with the Yankees, it was go first to third. You better go first to third, second to home. So those things just never leave you. Even in high school, you always wanted to go first to third. So I'm always looking to take that extra base on the bases. I might not steal the most bases, but passes ball, dirt ball reads, first to third, second to home. I think I could get that done.
Well, I'm super happy for you. This
Thank you.
This is an incredible run. And I want to show everybody see how soft we are in the Bay Area. Everybody's talking about the heat wave. I want everybody to see what it's like when you grow up in South Florida.
Yeah.
Some of the hottest. So
That's
back in the day, I used to work for the Raiders and I was on the sidelines. We were there in early September. It was week 3. It was an early game against the Miami Dolphins, right? And I remember, the bus comes into the stadium, Hard Rock, and walking out on the field, the humidity, it's like 97 degrees with humidity, and within like 2 seconds, you're drenched.
That's South Florida for you.
What is this weather for you like?
This cool breeze, you don't get this. This breeze is awesome. This is just another day. It's hot, but like I said, when you grow up in South Florida, there's a different level of humidity, heat that you just get used to over time.
Yeah, everybody yesterday, right? It was hot, right? Everybody yesterday, he came rolling up and you were in long sleeves yesterday.
Yeah. I just don't want that farmer's tan, I'm just trying to avoid the farmer's tan. Skin protection's in.
Yeah, well, when you're hanging out in South Beach, you gotta play the part.
Absolutely.
Growing up in Miami, what was it like?
A lot of fun, a lot of distractions, a lot of different places you could be. You just really want to fall in the right crowd, be with the right people that have the same goals, similar interests, lined up as you. What my parents just hit on me is just about work ethic, having to work. Nothing's going to be given to you. They come from nothing, so everything they've taught me has just been work ethic, stay the course, and do the right thing. It's probably what I hear from my mom every single day. Do the right thing.
And the amount of talent that is down there that you played against. Just talk about we have so much talent in California, Arizona, Texas, Florida. Florida, obviously, such a hotbed we see for football, but also for baseball, too. So many great players have come out of Florida and South Florida.
Yeah, you got Zach Neto, starting shortstop for the Angels. He was in Coral Park High School 4 or 5 years ago, and now he's in the big leagues. Luis Guillorme, another guy with the Angels, South Florida guy. The talent there is just unmatched. Everybody could play. A lot of competition. Everybody wants to be good. And everybody really works hard at it. They put in a lot of hours into being the best baseball player they can be.
Well, I'll tell you what, we pull for all A's, right? That's what we do here. But I can't tell you how much I'm pulling for you. Your story is unbelievable. And the fact that you're taking advantage of it right away. David Force, the general manager, has drilled into us that so much of tools get you to the big leagues, but it's skills that keep you here. Do you have the skills to help a team win? And when I look at you, versatility, good defense, got speed, good athlete, make hard contact, you've got those skills. So keep doing it. And hopefully we're doing this interview for many years to come.
Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
You've earned everything.
I appreciate it. That's what I like to think.
We got more coming up next right here on A's Cast Live.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
August 5th is International Trading Card Day, and Topps would like to celebrate with you. Visit your participating local hobby shop to receive a pack of cards, plus receive a special card if you purchase $10 or more of Topps products while supplies last. You can also celebrate International Trading Card Day with Topps on August 5th at the Oakland Coliseum and receive an exclusive A's card pack. Follow @Topps on social media and visit Topps.com for more information.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intended and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ for me, or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Do we have breaking news? I do have to get. I did prepare a little information today. We do have to give Aaron Judge some love. Live from the ABC Sports Desk in New York, I'm Chris Townsend. What do you got?
Okay, so let me pull it up.
Austin. Now, is it me or is it crazy? The All-Star game. What is the date today?
June 3rd, July 3rd.
July 3rd. Well, it's June 3rd.
Yeah, way too early.
I'm going on vacation on the 12th. The game's like the 16th?
Yeah.
How are we announcing All-Star starters at the beginning of July? We still got more time.
I don't know.
Is this normal? I don't remember it. I always remembered it got announced, and then they had a few days for guys that couldn't play, and then the managers would select new guys. Now we got so many different ways we select people.
Yeah. This does feel a little early.
Right?
And we only have one guy in the home run derby, Gunnar Henderson of the Orioles, who, if it wasn't for Aaron Judge, will probably be the MVP of the American League.
Has it become there's so many different ways to select people that we have to do it earlier now? Because after this, don't we have like a runoff or a vote off or a I've lost.
Remember, that's how Joey Votto got in 2010. He got voted in the final vote. Then he won the MVP that year.
Rooker got in because he was voted by the players.
Yeah. That's true. Well,
to me, it's too early to really get into All-Star, but we may have to figure out, and it's starting to happen, but people are realizing that All-Star weekend, there needs to be changes because the ratings last year, remember, you have no competition. It's the middle of summer. You're up against nobody, right? The All-Star Game, the Midsummer Classic, used to be a must-watch monster in ratings because there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
You have sports all to yourself. There's nobody. There's nobody competing against you. So it used to get monster ratings. And the last, what'd you say, 5 out of 7 years that home run derby's down?
It was the All-Star Game's been down. The Derby was on last year from 2022. You wouldn't know it from. I mean, I was at the Derby last year. It was sold out at T-Mobile, but on TV, just people just haven't been watching it. If you go back to the All-Star Game 20 years ago, the All-Star Game alone, the viewers, it was like 20 or no, go back to 94. So 30 years ago, the viewers were over 20 million people were watching.
It was a monster ratings getter because you had nothing. Like it's summertime. There's so many people that time of the day, whatever you've done in the summer, everybody's sitting around barbecuing, whatever you're watching the All-Star Game. It was a massive deal. And last year was the lowest rated All-Star Game ever in television. We're going to have to figure out, I mean, we've been talking about this, how to figure out for baseball as an industry, but also for All-Star Weekend, you're going to have to do some things differently if you're going to get people back in because these numbers are so low. But go ahead. Here we go.
Yeah, so we'll start with the National League first, see what you think.
All right.
We'll go around. We'll go starting with catcher. William Contreras from the
Monster year.
Brewers, having a great year.
Monster year.
First base, Bryce Harper, even though he's on the injured list right now.
He's hurt, but yeah, obviously Bryce Harper.
Second base, a guy we just saw who's
better be Ketel Marte.
Yeah, Ketel Marte.
Ketel Marte, by the way, I was just looking at because they're playing the Dodgers. Ketel Marte, who did make it last year, should have made it last year. Was he an alternate after?
I think he ended up being an
all-star. He should have been a starter. Last 21 games, he's got an OPS around 1,000, hitting 321 with 18 RBIs. We just saw him. The guy's a player.
The guy's short. I know it's a fan vote thing, and he's in, but I mean, Trey Turner's been hurt for majority of the year, and he's the starting shortstop. Alec Boehm's the third baseman.
By the way, he just came back, hit 2 home runs.
Yeah.
Yesterday had 2 home runs.
Then you got the outfield, right field.
He's on my fantasy team. I'm happy with him being an all-star.
I have him in a different league.
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is your right fielder.
Wait, who's third?
Oh, Alec Boehm.
Okay.
Tatis in right.
Remember, Phillies, big market. They're having one of the best years. I have no problem with Turner or Harper. I mean, they've been a perennial playoff team. I have no problem with a ton of Phillies.
So outfield will go Profar, Yelich.
Profar got voted in?
Yeah.
Jurickson Profar for
having
$1
a great
million.
year.
And by the way, is he the how do I want to put this? Is he like the Draymond Green of MLB? You hate him if he doesn't play for you, but if he plays for you, you love him. A lot of people don't like Profar.
There's other guys I would say that are more unlikable than Jurickson Profar in baseball, but
there's more unlikable than Jurickson Profar? Wow. Maybe the right fielder for the Padres.
I was going to say, you don't like a lot of people don't like him.
Nando.
So it's Profar, Yelich. What a bounce back for Christian Yelich. Paying all that, the Brewers gave him all that money for his back-to-back years. He's finally healthy, doing well. And Nando's in right field. That's Fernando Tatis Jr.
I do not have a problem with any of those.
Okay, me either, except for shortstop, because Turner was hurt. Yeah, and he's hurt too. Yeah, so we're probably going to
Nando and Harper are hurt, but both
deserving.
Totally understand.
All right, let's go with the American League.
All right, our league.
Oh, sorry, the DH, obviously, Ohtani.
Who?
So we'll go in the.
Wait a minute, you want to hear about that hack? That DH hack who's not good. You know what?
You mean the guy said it's going to Triple Crown?
Hey, if Ohtani, you want to tell me Ohtani's a real player, grab a glove and get a position. Shohei Ohtani. What did I see today in the notes? Shohei Ohtani with a 2-run homer. You know, last night was Japanese Heritage Night at Dodger Stadium, right?
I did not know that.
So, of course, he hits a 2-run home run. In 13 games since since Mookie Betts has been out.
And Shohei's been leading off.
Shohei's hitting .380, on base of .500, and a slug of .940 with 18 RBIs.
Are we going to start? Okay, not to go on a quick aside.
It's just stupid.
Are we going to start seeing your best hitter start hitting leadoff now? I mean, Mookie did it. Now Ohtani's doing it.
We moved him up to 2.
It's 2 now. Is it going to be leadoff now? I mean, Blade has been arguably our best hitter.
Mathematically, the higher you hit, the more at-bats you get.
Yeah. So I conceive having your best hitter.
Well,
that
and,
leadoff.
and you analytics guys don't care about RBIs because you say it's a team stat anyway.
That's everyone but me. I still value RBIs.
Oh, you still value
Yes.
RBIs?
Okay, so let's go with the National League or
Okay.
American League. Sorry,
Our league.
Our league, yes. DH will be Yordan Alvarez of the Astros.
Who, by the way, there's something about him and the Blue Jays. Do you see what he's doing at the Sky Dome? You call it the Rogers Center. He's tearing up the Blue Jays right now.
Astros have been the best team in the last month.
They can't wait to get him out of Canadian Day. Get him out of here.
Catcher Adley Rutschman. Okay, that makes sense.
But Adley Rutschman, who can't hit in the Pacific Northwest. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
He's a butcher when he gets back up to the Pacific Northwest.
He was a switch hitter in a home run derby last year. That was pretty cool to see because he was in it. First base, Vladdy Jr.
Wow.
Second base, Jose Altuve.
Yeah.
Shortstop, Gunnar Henderson, edging out Bobby Witt Jr., which, okay, deservingly so. Third base, my good friend, Jose
I
Ramirez.
have a great note on Jose when you're ready for it.
Okay, let me finish this. And then the outfield.
Are you guys ready for a great Jose Ramirez?
Can you guess the outfield?
There is not a Yankee on there.
2/3 of it's Yankees.
There's not a Yankee on there. There's no way. You put that big hack in center field, I'm going to not watch the game.
It's
when
actually,
I'm in Hawaii, if you put Aaron Judge in, I'm not going to watch it.
It's actually Soto, Verdugo, and Steven Kwan.
Verdugo's
I know.
in the tank right now.
But it's Kwan, Judge, and Soto and Wright.
That's a great you know what? That is getting it right. I know Kwan will
needs 5 plate appearances
tonight, probably qualify. Stephen Kwan has upped his game so unbelievable. Juan Soto is first year in the Bronx, having a phenomenal year, and his walks he's on pace for the most walks of his career. Plus, he's swinging it.
He may walk his way into the biggest contract the Yankees ever given out.
And Aaron Judge is arguably having the greatest year a center fielder's ever had. At 6'7", it's already a freak-like thing that Aaron Judge is playing center field.
Yes.
It amazes me. It's like when they show up the Yankees and you just look at him, you're like, this guy. It's kind of like when you look at LeBron James, how big LeBron James is. LeBron James is 6'9", and they lie about his weight. He's really like 270.
Yeah, he's going to be 40 this year, too. That's insane.
But, LeBron, like Karl Malone, you look at guys that were just that tall and that big and that athletic.
Shaq.
You're in the 7-footers.
Yeah, true.
I'm talking about guys in the 6'7", 6'9" range who are just super tall, super athletic, huge. Karl Malone was on when you were on the floor. I remember when early in my career, the Jazz would come to town. Karl Malone was massive, right? Aaron Judge is like that.
Yeah, I agree.
He's huge. He's the biggest position player when you take size and weight we've ever seen in baseball, and he's playing center field, and he's good at it.
Yeah, very good at it, and he's having the year he's having. I remember I ran the numbers yesterday before he homered yesterday in the late innings off Sammy Spin Rate at Yankee Stadium. He was on pace, I think, for 58 home runs. Remember, he has the own American League record.
All right.
When he said it a couple years ago.
You want me to? Since you guys are into Yankeeography, we'll start the Yankee.
I'm sure we were talking about Stephen Kwan, but it turned into Aaron Judge. You want to get away from batting average, talk about how great Judge is with home runs.
No, why? I got a guy hitting 321. Aaron Judge is about batting average.
Kwan scoffs at that. He's hitting 362.
The greatest year, 1956, Mickey Mantle had the greatest year as a center fielder. He won the Triple Crown. Look at this year. He hit 353, 52 home runs, 130 RBIs. His on-base was 464. His slug was 704, and his weighted runs created plus. And the good thing about weighted runs created plus is it factors in the era you were in.
Yeah.
Weighted runs created plus was 202. Now you got Judge, who does not match him right now in average at 321, but his 32 home runs, 83 RBIs, he's going to blow past Mickey Mantle's number. He's going to hit over 60 home runs, barring he gets hurt. OPS going to be higher, but his weighted runs created plus is 218 versus Mickey Mantle's 202. This literally...
He might win the Triple Crown, too.
Now, to give Mickey Mantle credit, the ballpark in the Bronx was a lot different back then.
Was that Yankee Stadium 1 or 2?
2. It was center field was way deeper. The monuments were in play. It was a lot harder to hit. But the thing that if we're going to go back and we're going to praise Pedro Martinez, because Pedro Martinez won, I don't know, was it 209 games?
Yeah, it sounds right. I knew,
something like that.
It was like two. I know it was over 200. Obviously, here I'll get his numbers.
So Pedro Martinez didn't have this crazy win amount, but he was so dominant, kind of like why Curt Schilling should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's not in because of politics, truly because of politics.
We shortchanged it. 219.
219. The thing about Pedro is that Pedro pitched in the steroid era. Was he clean? I don't know. I don't know who was, who wasn't. But Pedro pitched in the steroid era, and an era where everybody was getting lit up like a Christmas tree, and his numbers were so low, there was such a dramatic difference between Pedro and the league average. It's one of the greatest things you've ever seen, and it truly showed his dominance against all these steroid guys pitching in a hitter's ballpark. Not every game, obviously, he got pitched on the road, but he pitched at Fenway, which is a hitter's ballpark. Ray Fosse, back in the day, said either Texas, Old Texas, or Fenway Park was the toughest 27 outs to get. But Pedro's dominance, he was so dominant compared to the American League and the rest of both leagues combined's average. I'm going to flip the script on that and say, well, can't we say that for Aaron Judge? If we're saying the average, everything is down in baseball when we look at offensive players. The league average is down.
242.
Everything is down, and Judge is killing it. Judge is so much better than the league average at center field.
Yeah.
Mind you, playing in New York, under the pressure. I mean, this is pretty incredible what this guy's doing.
Yeah, I think the lowest the league batting average ever was like 237, and we're at 242 right now. And
what was it in 1968, the year of the
that
pitcher?
was? I think it's on the front page there. I think it's 237. No, that's yesterday. Sorry, it was 237, 1968. It's 242 right now.
So that's when we said we got to change the mound. Oh my God, Koufax, all these guys. They're.
What do we define as what years do you define as a steroid era for Pedro? I did 99 to 2003. Do you want to hear his numbers? When
Pedro pitching in Montreal was when? 94?
Pedro's last year in Montreal was 97.
But he started 94, 93?
94 was his first year in Montreal.
I mean, his whole career was a steroid era.
But I just went, in 97, his last year in Montreal, 25.
97 steroid era. We just didn't know it, but it was steroid era.
All right, we'll include that then. If you go from 97 to 03, Pedro Martinez was 118 and 36 with a 2.20 ERA and 199 starts. He pitched in 1,408 innings, and he struck out 1,761.
And he's one of the funniest guys ever.
Yes.
And the Yankees, you could just call him my daddy. And to this day on TBS, they're running the Who's Your Daddy segment during the postseason.
ERA plus, league average is 100. What do you think his ERA plus was over those years?
Oh, my God. It was like record, right?
213.
Yeah.
97 to 03, 213 for the great Pedro Martinez, Hall of Famer.
So if we look at Pedro as truly one of the, Pedro is an upper echelon pitcher.
Yes.
Even though he didn't win 300 games, he will be looked at. Like I would say, when I talk about greatest pitchers of all time, Pedro would be, I don't know where he ranks. He's just in my conversation. His dominance over his era, which was the steroid era.
Yes.
So I'm going to flip that script, and I'm going to say, how should we look at Aaron Judge when we know we are in a low run scoring environment, right?
Yeah.
We are in an extreme low offensive environment right now. It's hard to score runs. It's hard to hit. I think I can prove it's not the pitching. I think it's the approach of the hitters. George Brett is backing me on that. But because we don't see record pitching numbers.
No, when I looked the other day, I think the league ERA is still 4.02.
Right? What was the league ERA in 1968?
Oh, I have it written down. Hold on.
It was low threes, or it was in the
No,
threes.
it was under 3.
It was under 3?
2.98.
So if we had record ERA to go with this low offense, I would start saying, well, it's the pitching. But we don't have record pitching going on. We have math. What are we up to date? What are we at pitchers?
Didn't change since yesterday. 694.
We're almost at 700.
Yeah, and it's July
We're almost
3rd.
at 700 pitchers used in Major League Baseball. We're not the All-Star break.
The league average of pitchers used per team is 23.
Okay, so last year, 863 was a record. We're going to blow past that. We're going to have technically, what do we have?
694.
We're going to get to 7. We'll have, by the All-Star break, we'll have 700 different human beings will pitch in Major League Baseball before the All-Star.
Oh.
You want
There's a guy making his debut tonight for the Marlins.
You want to tell me none of these guys pitched in the minor leagues this year? Oh, it's the big leagues. How many guys will pitch in Major League Baseball this year that spent time in the minors?
We figure.
A lot.
We figure there's 30 teams and
over 2/3.
13 of them started on the roster. So that's 390 if my math's correct. So we're already at 6. So you already got 304 guys that were in the minor leagues or hurt this year.
So
already.
I don't think you can tell me the pitching's as great as I think I think that is a narrative everybody's bought into, but I think if you really break down the numbers and you're educated, it's not guys throw harder and it's the spin rates. It's because I've asked Shooty Babbitt, who we all agree is an outstanding scout.
Super scout, yeah.
Super scout. I've said last year there was 863 guys. Are there 863 human beings qualified to throw in Major League Baseball in your opinion? What do you think his answer was?
No.
No. So now you're going to tell me there's over 900?
Well,
don't tell me the pitching. It's the approach of the hitters. We need to get into that. But back to Aaron Judge, I just want to bring this up because I know Michael here, our intern, is a big Yankee honk, so this is for him. If you're looking at Judge's numbers versus the league average, it's insane. I mean, he's on pace to break his own American League record, hitting over 300, hitting the home runs. Got off to a super slow start, too, where he was getting booed at Yankee Stadium.
I'm going to get the home run, what his pace will be right now after he hit the home run last night.
Yeah, I think he's on pace for like 63 or 64. I think I read that earlier today.
All right.
But do you see where I'm going with that when you're talking about a player, his greatness versus the league average? You're just flipping what Pedro did versus the rest of the pitchers. You're flipping it to look how bad the offense is and how good Judge is. As much as we don't like the Yankees, we do love baseball. We should be paying attention to it because you're kind of seeing an all-world run by Aaron Judge. And it's a freakish run, and he's from Northern California, so we can give him love.
We'll round it up. He's on pace for 60 home runs right now. 59.6, so I round up.
I mean, yeah, center fielder's hitting 60 home runs, man. Hitting 300. I mean, it's not like Griffey was a great power guy. Griffey wasn't a great contact guy.
Yeah, and Griffey is the only center fielder to ever
hit 50 twice.
Yeah. So Judge might be.
Mickey Mantle, now that I said that, Mickey Mantle he only hit 50 home runs one time. I'm not sure about that. Let me check. The great Mick.
Because Trouty's never done it. That's Mike Trout for everyone who doesn't know nicknames. Trying to think of Judge wasn't playing center field when he did in 2022, right? He was playing right.
Judge has been playing center field, but he's been bouncing back. Mickey Mantle did not hit 50 home runs
just that one
twice.
year, right?
He just did it 1 year.
I mean, Barry Bonds only hit 50 home runs once. It was a year he hit 73. So I mean, he doesn't. The list of guys that have hit 50 or more home runs.
This is very. And the reason why I don't compare it to Bonds is, once again, we compare eras. Everybody was hitting home runs. When Bonds was when Super Barry was over doing his thing at then Pac Bell, everybody, I mean, Sammy, Mark McGwire just hit 70 home runs.
Sosa hit 66 or whatever it was. Yeah, 66.
Sosa became the only player to hit 60 home runs 3 different times. I mean, we were seeing record stuff. So Bonds was doing what other people were doing in that offensive environment. Aaron Judge is doing this. He's the only guy.
Yeah. And he's playing center field.
Whenever you can separate yourself, can you compare anybody to him?
In baseball, no.
And at some point, if this continues, do you start giving him the Bonds treatment?
It's hard in that lineup because of Soto and the guys around him, especially if Giancarlo can hit a little bit. Isn't he hurt?
Giancarlo, stop.
Well, Stanton's hurt, and they were actually talking about that on ESPN radio earlier when he hit the grand slam
This is
against
Michael,
the Mets.
the intern, by the way.
When he hit the grand slam against the Mets, there was like a 9-3 game. So why don't you just walk and run because you have no one behind him? Rizzo's hurt, and does Rizzo really scare anyone nowadays?
Verdugo's falling off.
Verdugo's slumping, and
Yeah.
Stanton's hurt.
Rizzo's hurt. LeMahieu was not hit. I don't even think LeMahieu has a home run.
Glaber Day. Not doing
Is there anything
anything
else about the Yankees you want to talk about on your,
No.
as a big Yankee fan that you are? Anything else you want to
Oh,
talk about?
how they doing today?
Yankeeography.
Oh, look, they're losing 3-0.
Oh, the Reds beat them yesterday too. By the way,
They lost 12 of 17, something
the
like that.
Yankees are in first place. The Baltimore Orioles are.
Just I'm going to take a look around the scoreboard, see if there's any other big scores that are going on. We should take a look. Mets up 5-0.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to do this on Friday, remind me this, for all the batting average haters, as we talk about a run, basically scoring runs has been tough in this era the past few years. And batting average is the one thing that you start to look at. What's the thing that you're not seeing? It's batting average. But what you start to see, the teams with the best offenses, batting average starts to matter more in a low run scoring environment. So if you take the teams, you can go to MLB.com right now. You can check it yourself. You can go to the team statistics, look at the top 10 teams in runs, look at the top 10 teams in batting average, and look at the top 10 teams in slug. Remember I told you slug's the biggest thing?
Yeah.
Slug is the biggest thing in a low run scoring environment. You look at the teams that slug and hit for batting average, they're your best offenses. Not on base, not walks, slug and bat, good contact and slug. So slug is just not power. Slug is your doubles, your triples. And that's the thing. You look where the A's are. The A's do not hit for average. The A's do not have a great slug. The A's walk a lot. So the A's are top 10 in home runs and they're top 15 in walks, yet they have a terrible offense.
I would say they're 8th in home
So
runs.
if it was all about walking and hit home runs, they wouldn't be 28th in runs.
And they rely so much on the home run, although the Orioles just passed them. Although the Orioles hit way more home runs than the A's do. But the A's hit way more solo home runs than the Orioles do. But yeah, their offensive numbers are nowhere near what the teams in there. It's like the Astros were always towards the top of the leaderboard, and they're hot now. Yankees, the Brewers are having a great year. The Mets, who are playing really well, as I said, they're up 5-0 right now. The leader, Padres, Dodgers,
Red Sox were hot.
Braves.
Braves are not.
They weren't in there? Who was the other?
Braves have not hit well. See, you guys are all, you get on your narratives and you stick with them. Braves have not been good.
Well, that's because Olsen and Acuna and all those guys aren't. Acuna's hurt. Olsen isn't hitting.
Big Murph, who everybody wanted to give that big contract
Alex
to.
Riley, for a while, wasn't hitting.
Yeah, so you go look, just go. If you don't want to, I'll have it for you on Friday. But if you want a homework assignment, and you're looking at, hey, I got nothing to do. I actually want to see if Townsend knows what he's talking about. Go look top 10 slug, top 10 batting average, and you'll see the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah, I can't dispute it. There's only one team that's like not in the current. Well, every team in the National League's in the playoffs.
There's only one team, but they've actually played better, and that's the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, well, they're also in the playoff mix,
and they're getting guys back healthy.
Yes, I was going to say, if you look at how many number of pitchers we've used already this year. Well, the Marlins are using. I think it's the Marlins are using a new guy tonight. So, or no, it's the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks are using a new guy tonight. So that's 695. You got a bunch of guys from the Rays that are going to be coming back. There's Giants guys that are coming back. So you're going to be well over 700 within the next 2-3 weeks.
Okay, who am I? I have lost 9 of my last 12. I'm averaging exactly 3 runs per game while batting 185. I have struck out 10 or more times in 7 straight games. 10 or more times in 7 straight. Do the math. That's over 70.
Yeah.
That's the longest streak in MLB history, and I am on pace to have the most 10-plus strikeout games ever in a 162-game season. Who am I?
I can do one better for you. They don't have a player on their team with qualified at-bats with an OPS over 700. That'd be your division leading for now Seattle Mariners.
It's gross.
It's embarrassing. I thought firing the offensive coordinator was going to change everything. Brant Brown.
It just goes to show how good their pitching is, that they still are a team that's 47-40 with an offense that basically isn't an offense. And I don't know why. And Shooty, maybe we got to get Shooty back on because, when Shooty and I sit around and do TV together and we talk for like 3 hours, we go over a lot of things. Shooty didn't understand it, why the industry was doing it. And now it's really backfiring in so many ways. These contracts of let's give these contracts. It really works for the team. For the player, it gives you security. No, it doesn't work for the team. It works for the player. It's bad for the team because you haven't made the guy earn it. You think he's going to be this all-time great player. You think you're going to give him on the cheap because he'll be so great for what you signed him for.
I know where you're going.
And Julio Rodriguez was one of those players. Julio Rodriguez is batting 102, 0 extra base hits in his last 12 games. This is a guy they gave a record contract for his age. Jerry DiPoto said it was part of the contract he used that he did with Mike Trout when he got that mega extension with the Angels. Julio Rodriguez has been absolutely awful. Awful. And you've paid him to be, I'm having trouble seeing that. I want to bring up his overall numbers. You've paid him to be an all-time great and to be someone like you would say King Griffey Jr., and he's terrible.
Yeah, he was really bad last year for a while too until like August, and that saved his numbers from last year too. He's been down the last 2 years in the first half, and it doesn't help that the team around him, none of the guys are hitting. Ty France is hurt. Cal Raleigh's a home runner. He's a home run or nothing. Like I said, they have no qualified players in their offense hitting with an OPS over 700.
He's got a 617 OPS, an OPS plus of 82. I mean, Julio Rodriguez, the year where he is now, remember when the Mariners were here and they tried to sell it like, he's gonna be fine. Well, when's that gonna happen? Do you know how good he's gonna have to be to get his numbers up just to be mediocre?
Yeah, I mean, he did it. I think they're banking on because he did it last year at the second half of the season. But, I mean, to have this happen 2 years in a row for a guy as your cornerstone franchise player, it's not a good thing to look forward to in the future for Trader Jerry and the Mariners. Remember
when they bragged about getting Mitch Haniger back? Oh, he didn't stay healthy with the Giants. He's going to come back here and be Mitchy ball game again. Mitch Haniger, he's from the South Bay. Got respect, but he's hitting .048 in his last 9 games. He was supposed to be. They cannot score. They cannot make contact. This goes back to why Aaron Judge discussion so interesting is, are we looking at an all-time great year? Because the rest of baseball, whether it's what we're talking about with the Mariners, whether what we're talking about with the Angels, where we're talking about with the Athletics over here in the dugout, so many teams are just not hitting.
Yeah, I threw a name out there for you for the Mariners as a guy that's on a team right now that has had the I think since the beginning of May, the stat I heard from our good friend Hembo was only 2 teams have scored less runs than the Cubs. I threw out the name of Cody Bellinger. Why don't the Mariners make a run for him? Because the Cubs are they really? I guess they're in it because they're in the National League Central. But
they are in it.
But Bellinger,
I'm not doing that if I'm the Cubs. I just got him to a friendly deal. This year, I think they're only paying him like $5 million. The money doesn't kick into next year, and it's only like $17 million.
If he opts in, because he's the player option. So he could opt out thinking, because he's having a decent year, for them.
It's okay.
But if he thinks he can get more money, he might. He is a Boris guy, but then again, if he feels like Boris.
Check to see what Bellinger kicks in next year. If I may be cheap at 17.
I thought it was 27.
If it's 27, there's no way he's opting out.
Yeah, just like Blake Snell will probably want to opt out on his 30-something million.
Yeah, if we start to look around at the Big Four, like we talked about, it just consumed our world in Nashville at the winter meetings. What do you got?
$27.5 million player option for next year.
He is not turning that down.
Unless he goes on a monster tear and he goes, you know what, I can get $30 million a year. Yeah, I think he's probably going to Well, it doesn't matter if the Cubs get rid of him. They don't have to worry about the money.
It's a player's option.
Well, so I mean, the other team will have to worry about it.
And the buyout's $2.5 million for what it's worth.
Oh. I don't think anyone's going to buy him out.
If I'm the Cubs,
he's still 28. He's not like he's.
If
40.
I'm the Cubs and I want butts in the seats at Wrigley Field, they probably get butts anyway. But I don't. I don't move Cody Bellinger.
I don't think they will, but he's an interesting name that you might see floated more and more coming to the deadline, especially if the Cubs still play the way they are, because it's not great.
Will Jerry Dipoto, Trader Jerry? I mean, at this point, isn't he beyond desperate? But he is the guy that authored the. As long as we win at 53%, 54%, I'm doing my job, and you dumb people in the Pacific Northwest should be happy about it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what guy. I mean, they're going to have to go up one of their big pitchers or Emerson Hancock, the next guy up for them, if they want to get somebody. And will they want to do that? Because you talked with David Force about yesterday about teams hoarding their prospects and not want to trade anybody.
Well, and then there's so many teams that are still in it. Who's the big bopper that's out there? At one point, it was like, the polar bear. Mets are red hot, and actually the polar bear is red hot now too. You think the Mets are going to get rid of him?
No,
they're in the playoff hunt.
If we had to look at just all the bad teams in baseball, people are going to want Luis Robert. I said Robert. So about Luis Robert.
Luis Robert really turned me off. Did you see the other day against Cleveland? Into the game, Jimenez is on third. Obviously, he's fast. Fly ball out to center field. Robert drifts back. Doesn't go back and get behind the ball. He just drifts back. This is the winning run.
Yeah.
He just goes back, catches it, goes, doesn't even throw it in.
Yeah.
It was a bad look.
Oh, we'll have to save the 2021 White Sox for Friday. But he's a guy. Will the Rays want to trade Randy Arozarena? I mean, he's having a really bad year. But maybe he goes change the scenery, go somewhere else. He could be a guy. But if you're looking at big guys on the market, now it depends. I guess the Blue Jays are the biggest one. What do they do with Vlad and what do they do with Bo Bichette?
Well, there's a guy here. There's two guys here, Andujar and Rooker.
Yeah.
Which you don't have to trade.
No, because they're under team control and they're not. They don't cost as much as
Andujar, though, is not under team control, right? He's just 1 year.
Yeah, it was because we gave him a 1 year, like $1.7 million deal.
You got Rooker's under team control, but
unless he's ARB eligible still.
I have no idea. I've not looked at Andujar's contract status, but Jerry Dipoto is not giving up top prospects for Brent Rooker.
No, I think Rooker would be if Rooker was end up moving, it probably into a National League team. There's a lot of teams in the NL wild card race that could use a power hitter. Andujar, if I look at his salary, he doesn't say. Free agent in 2026, so you have another year of him. I think it's arbitration.
All right, so you
don't have to trade him either.
No, you've got to have to spend some money, and then you're gonna because what's gonna happen is when you get revenue sharing like the A's do, you have to spend some money. Alemis Diaz is coming off the books.
Yeah,
that's why I said I mapped it out yesterday. What it could look like. The one area that David Force may say, hey, we got some money to spend. Let's go out and spend some money. That might be right field. Might be an outfielder. If you think that if you're going to keep Andujar in left and you're going to keep Lede in center, right field, it may be somebody you go out there and kind of hope that whoever that guy is, that when Henry Bolte's ready.
Or Colby Thomas.
Well, Colby Thomas is going to be ready.
Yeah, he's still doing pretty well in AAA. I know he's only a small sample size in AAA,
but maybe that's where you spend a little money is maybe an outfielder and a guy that can play right field.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea. You have to look at the free agent market and see who's going to be out there, but I'm sure there'll be guys that would fit the model here.
Big start tonight for Joey Estes. We talked about with Scott Emerson, you're facing the Angels for back-to-back, but it's a big because earlier today. If you're just joining us, you had guys out on the mound throwing to hitters. Ross Stripling, Paul Blackburn. Veteran guys are coming back. So these younger guys, Luis Medina, Mitch Spence, Joey Estes, they've got to do their part and throw so well to make it a tough decision for the front office. That's what they need to do. And Joey Estes' last outing against the Angels was good. Let's see if he can do it again. We want to thank, who do you have on today?
Emo.
Scott Emerson, Armando Alvarez, That was it, right?
Yeah.
And we can use Alvarez for pregame?
Yes, and David Force will pregame tomorrow.
All right, happy 4th of July, everybody. A's Cast Live will not be on. Why? Well, because it's a day game. We will be back on Friday at 4 o'clock, the Mark Kotze Show.
Martin Gallegos,
MartinGallegos, MLB.com.
We don't know which A's player, but we know there's a couple of guys I've requested.
We will have an A's player. We'll be up in the treehouse. It's going to be happy hour.
And we're hoping to – I've a request in to hope to either get Brandon Hyde, the manager of the Orioles, or Cole Irvin, our good friend. I'm sure we'll get Cole.
Yeah. So great stuff today. We'll have great stuff for you on Friday. Have a happy 4th. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. Don't forget the Jose Canseco bobblehead doll on July 20th. I know for all of us who love Jose Canseco, it's a must-have. New A's Hall of Famer, July 20th. Coming up next, it's A's baseball. It's the A's and the Angels. Firework night. It's going to be fantastic. All right here on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network. This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my... This is Chris Townsend, and it is summertime. You want to look your best, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Commander Cody, we've got our new shipment from Link Soul, all the summer gear. So whether you're playing golf or you're going out for dinner, you're hanging out with your buddies, or you're going to the beach, go see our friends at linksoul.com. And right now they have an offer where you can get 20% off. Go to linksoul.com. Remember, in the big leagues, look good, play good.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.